Hello in Greek. To be a little more formal, it's yasas. Informal is yasu. So we'll go informal, yasu. And that means hello to you all. You could also say kalispera, good evening. I looked a couple of these things up. I think in Italy, I was on Duolingo. It helped a little bit, and in watching some movies, I could still pick up some terms, but for the most part, they spoke English. I want to welcome you all here. My name is Christy Meek. I'm the President and Executive Director. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure I didn't need the microphone, just checking. I'm the President and Executive Director for the Assiniboia Chamber of Commerce. These trips started a few years ago. My first trip was to Portugal with a group of 8. We then went to Tuscany with 32 of us. If you hear some louder individuals in the room, that was their first trip with us. It was a fabulous time. So if you want some extra experience or just talking to how our trips go, not just listening to myself or Jessica Robinson, who's also here. We are 2 people at the Assiniboia Chamber of Commerce, and we could talk about that later, but we're all here talking about travel. So I do not want to waste a lot of other time. I just got back from Ireland. Some other travelers in the room also came back from Ireland in April. And Jessica's actually on her way to Germany for the Christmas markets at the end of November with a few of the travelers here, as well as some others. So we have a bit of experience in our back pocket as we do this. You will hear from Danielle, who's here from Colette, to tell us about Greece and the French Riviera. The 2 trips we have planned for 2025. I'm sure you will want to come and join us. They sound absolutely amazing. But before we begin, I just want to introduce Cindy. I thought she was leaving. Cindy from Benby the Wellington here. Benby is one of our members for the Assiniboia Chamber of Commerce. We have over 400 members, all in West Winnipeg, and so we like to support them. And when we had a tour here a few months ago, we did a ribbon cutting out back for their new gardens and everything, and so we thought, we knew this room existed, so we called Cindy up saying, hey, would you like to host us for our chamber travel group? And the answer was absolutely. So Cindy, if you want to just say a few words,
Sure.
And then we'll introduce Danielle.
I think I'm good. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, just want to welcome you all to the Wellington. We're excited that you chose our place to host your event. I won't really get into talking a lot about the Wellington, but what I do want to say, we are a retirement residence providing independent living with services, meaning meals, all the activities, all the fun stuff going on here. You can see we're in a great location across the street from the Assiniboine Forest, of course, giving us all this beautiful green space. I wish I was traveling like all of you, but people have referred to the Wellington as the cruise ship on land, just because we do have a lot of fun things going on. Anyway, enjoy your meeting. Please enjoy the refreshments and hope you enjoy your travels as well. Thank you.
All right, I will use the microphone. I tend to be a little bit on the quieter side. So welcome everyone that is here in person. Welcome the people that are there virtually. I'm excited to be here in Winnipeg. I used to live here, and I haven't been back in 4 years, so it's great to be here with all of you. And it's even greater to be talking about travel. So before we get started, I'm just curious, how many of you, raise your hands if you've ever heard of Colette before? Okay, so we got a few people. And have you heard or have you actually gotten a chance to travel with us? Okay, some people travel, some people heard. Okay, that's great. I'm excited about that. So today, what I do want to cover with all of you is, we want to welcome you to this wonderful experience of Greece and the spotlight on French Riviera. So I'm going to cover a little bit about Colette for those of you that have never heard of us. Then we'll get into details on what we do for those 2 tours. Some final remarks on, travel insurance and all of that fun stuff, and then we'll open up for some questions. Sounds good? All right, so a little bit about myself, just so we get started. My name is Danielle, and I have been representing the company since 2018, so for almost 7 years now. Very fortunate to be here working for Colette. This was my very first trip with them to Egypt. I never imagined going to Egypt for no specific reason, but it was a fabulous trip. It definitely exceeded expectations. And I've done a few others, this one in particular, where some of you will not necessarily be going to Santorini, but Greece. And I've done Italy, France, and the next one coming up is Turkey. So I'm very excited. I've had a chance to experience our product firsthand. So if you do have specific questions, just come up at the end and I'm happy to share them. So I already mentioned, the agenda a little bit. This is all we are going to be covering. Now, before I get started into Colette, I do have a quick video that gets us sort of dreaming about guided touring. All right, so I promise that's not the experience you're going to have, okay? There is some misconceptions about guided touring. This is not what we do on tour, I promise. So this just covers a little bit of what's included in your package. We do offer, all of the hotel accommodations. You will have some local guides that leads you on the attractions, some phenomenal culinary experiences, cultural experiences. The sites are included. You will get the support with handling your luggage. And these are basically trips that have been designed by you travelers. We have been around for 107 years. So a really long time. I always say we've had the opportunity to learn what works and what doesn't work, so that when you go on trip, you really have, a trip of a lifetime. When we think about Colette's mission statement, it is to enhance life's journey by creating extraordinary experiences. So that's really what you're gonna have when you go on tour with us. Now, a couple things there. We have many tours, but we've selected nothing but the best for you coming up with Greece and French Riviera. We are the oldest guided tour company in North America. And something I quickly want to touch on, we are a financially stable company. Just so you have an idea, when COVID happened, and I won't get into COVID, but we gave back $170 million in refunds to people. And we were able to do that because we had the money. We believe that if travelers didn't get to go on the trip, we didn't get to earn your money. So I know not everybody could do that, but that's what we did, and it was not a voucher for future travel. So if people paid on their credit cards, they received their money back exactly how they paid us. So that alone speaks a little bit about the company. These are some of the reasons I'll just open up for questions at the end if that's okay, because otherwise we may be here forever. These are some of the reasons why you travelers have told us that you enjoy traveling with us. We are known for our pacing. We want you to immerse with the culture and really have a great experience. So we have fewer night stays and one night stays, I should say. We work with 4-star hotel accommodations. They're all listed as part of your package here. So if you want to do a little digging, go on Google, make sure that you see the hotels that we use. We're known for having a lot of inclusions. So you're going to notice that there's a few optional excursions that you pay extra, but the majority of it is already included for you. It amazes me that people go on our tours and they come back raving about the tour manager. And I mean, it amazes me, but I'm also not surprised because these people become your friends. They're phenomenal in the knowledge that they have for the destination. And so we really rave about our tour managers. And then the culinary immersion, I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail as we go along. But let's get started on the trip. So Classical Greece is the first trip that is gonna be coming up in April of next year. And as you can see there, it's about 11 days with the travel dates, and then there's already 16 meals included. Those will be all of your breakfast, there's some dinners, and usually lunches we leave it out. You're gonna notice there may be a couple in there, but it's on purpose. All of our tours, we give you about 1/3 of free time. And that's because we want you to do a little bit of exploring independently. We understand it's great to travel as a group, but you may need that time off, just to do your own thing. Now, this tour in particular, both tours that I'm gonna cover today, they're activity level 3. So what that means is you're active, you don't wanna miss out, you're on the go traveler, and you need to be able to walk and, stand for about 2 hours. It is a moderate pace. So, it's not like we're gonna be go, 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 but it is, a little bit active tour. All right, so a little bit of what we do as part of this tour. We do begin in the beautiful capital city of Athens. This is a tour where there's just tons of history. We have the deepest history in the world, some would say, when we go into Athens. And we do start the tour with like a welcome dinner so you can all get to know each other and your fellow travelers. Now the very next day we'll take you on a panoramic tour where you're gonna get to see all of the highlights in Athens. And some of those highlights will include, the Temple of Zeus, the Royal Palace, the Parliament, and the Olympic Stadium, of course. Now you can see there I have been to Athens with Colette. It was absolutely phenomenal. And here is the Acropolis. It's one of the inclusions as part of your tour. This is like the highest city if you were to do the translation in Greek. So we go up the hill and then we're gonna take you to this fabulous religious center, and you're gonna get to learn all about with the local guide, about the history. And of course this is a huge archaeological site as well, so there's a lot to learn when we go into here. And then some fabulous views as well when we're up there. Of course, food is a great part of any trip and connecting with any culture in any region. So there's gonna be a lot of great and authentic and very immersive experiences that we do when it comes to food. This is just one option, and this is an optional, so if you want to join, it is a little bit extra. Make sure that you include it. But this one specifically is about 3.5 hours. We'll take you around, the transportation is included, and you're gonna get to experience Athens basically as a local. So you join a local guide and we'll take you on a walking tour in 3 different neighborhoods in the city, and we're basically going to take you to these hidden gems where you're going to get to try some of the freshest and local ingredients. You're basically going to get the best of the culinary specialties and the wine, of course. is also included. And you learn also about, like common grocery items and how the Greek uses their spices for cooking. So make sure that if you sign up for this tour, you bring a really great pair of shoes, because that's important. Now we travel north towards central Greece, and we're going to stop here. It's a very famous place. A lot of battles happen here. But basically, you're going to get to see this monument of Leonidas. And this was very famous. She was like a Spartan king who died basically defending Greece from the Persians. So it was a great symbol for Greece. So you're going to get to learn all about it. Now, next year, you're going to get to go to this area here. This is basically a family-owned, they call it taverna. And you get to, another delicious meal that you're going to get to explore when we're in this area with some fresh ingredients. Now, also included as part of your tour, we take you to visit Meteora, and pardon me if I'm pronouncing some of these words wrong. I tried to get the right pronunciation, but some of them are really hard. So you get to go on tour, learn how to say properly, and then you can come back and but basically, these are some guided tours that we take you to very remote monasteries that, sort of date back 600 years ago. You can see where they're situated. It's amazing to think that way back in the day, the monks were able to create that in such a phenomenal location. So very unique landscape with these limestone, and we're gonna take you there. So you're gonna learn all about it. And this was a very important area, in terms of peace and harmony. So a very divine place, as they put it. And actually, today a lot of Christians from all over the world actually make their way to this area and to these monasteries as their pilgrimage. All right, so then we continue to these. I can see, I guess it's cut off at the top there. This is a very charming little town that we visit, Aranchova, and very popular ski resort town. So you're going to see some breathtaking views as we take you around this area. And here we're going to be having dinner at a local restaurant. Then the very next day, we take you to the ancient city of Delphi. And this was one of Greece's most important and religious centers back from the classical times. So of course, if you're into history, this is another huge highlight. Well, the trip itself, you gotta be into history because it's part of it. And if you don't enjoy it, then maybe look at French Riviera. So this was considered, Delphi was like the center of the world for the ancient Greeks. And we will take you to visit the museum when we're in this area. You're gonna join a local expert, and they will basically guide you to visit the sanctuary of Apollo. Doric Temple is another one that it's included, and then the ancient theater as well. This was all built back in the 4th century BC, and there's about like 5,000 seats in the theater, and it's said to be the place where the oracle sort of asked to predict mankind. So it's a very special place. And then on the way to Olympia, we will stop and we'll visit a local farm in the countryside. So here you'll have an opportunity to meet with the owners of the farm and just really connect with the locals and have that immersive experience and learn what it was like, the everyday life for that area. It's funny because one time I had an agent tell me, from a travel agency, that this experience, she thought it was almost like a theater, it was somebody doing a play. And she didn't realize that, no, these are the local people, this is the real deal. We're not just pretending. So it is very authentic. Of course, more food. So this is another evening where you're gonna get to enjoy some of the local flavors. We do wine tasting as part of the tour. You're gonna get to try the olive oil because Greece is so famous for their olive oil. Homemade jams and a lot of their sweets as well when we are into that farm. This is just one of my pictures from when I went to Greece and some of my favorite foods that I had never tried. Has anybody ever been to Greece? Okay, a few of you. And you're gonna be returning? This is great. Possibly. So some of you may remember this, you know, the saganaki, which was the fried cheese. I mean, I just love cheese, so it was, you could see that all my pictures have cheese in there. Halloumi cheese was delicious, but one thing that I thought it was really different was the Greek yogurt where they put like this honey on top of it, and it was just different than what you would do at home. It tastes unique, so make sure you try it. And then the fresh orange juice is just delicious. All right, so the next day, a little bit more temples. So we take you on a guided visit of Olympia. And of course, when we're in this area, you're gonna get to tour the sanctuary of the god Zeus and see the Olympic Stadium. And this is where all the Olympic Games were held way back in the day. And I thought it was pretty interesting that, you know, all of the athletes that used to compete were, of course, all males. And the games used to go on for, you know, centuries and centuries. And they would basically have about 45,000 spectators come to those games. All right, a little bit more about food. This is a really, really fun experience because you're gonna get to learn how to cook. But don't worry if it doesn't taste any good. You're not gonna have to have it. You know, there will be another meal there waiting for you. So you basically get to learn to cook the region's best dishes, and then you're gonna get to partake in this Mediterranean cooking experience, followed by, you know, your own Greek lunch. Now, and then later in the evening, this is also very live and, you know, exciting and animated part of the tour. You're gonna get to learn all about the musical instruments and the traditional Greek folkloric dances. And basically we have a dance class for everyone. So make sure you're ready to rumble.
No pictures.
Yes, no pictures, we just want the videos. Come on. We're in 2024, now we need a little more. Okay, so the next day we head to the seaside area, and again, you're gonna enjoy some spectacular scenery as we cross the Arcadian Mountains. And we will stop at a family-owned distillery where you're gonna get to experience ouzo. I didn't get a chance to try that, but this is basically, you know, their local liqueur, very popular. So make sure that you give that a try. And apparently there is no other beverage as uniquely to Greece as this one. Did some of you get to try it when you went? Yes? How was it? Good, strong. This should have come before the dance. I don't know, they got it wrong here. I gotta talk to the Colette people. All right, so the next day, we do a lot of this as part of our tours. Whenever you see there's these two arrows, it means that there's two excursions that are included, so you don't have to pay extra, but you basically get to pick which one you'd like to go on. They do happen simultaneously, so unfortunately you get to pick only one. But you know, we've basically created this so it gives you a little bit of flexibility and you can tailor to your own needs. So these are two of the options. One day you can go and explore the excavations on these amazing tour. Of course, it is gonna be guided, and we take you to Beehive Tombs and then the Lion Gate. And this was, basically developed way back in the later part of Bronze Age, and it was typically all underground, and it was used by basically powerful leaders. So there was a great amount of work that went into it, and you're gonna get to, go in there if you choose this particular tour. Or you may want to do a walking tour of this beautiful area, which is Greece's first capital city. Very charming, very elegant city. A little bit of a mix of Venetian and neoclassical architecture when we go explore this area. All right, then the next day we're going to quickly stop to view the canal. So very beautiful views there as well as we sort of head back to Athens. When we arrive in Athens, you basically have the afternoon at your own to sort of explore, the capital. If you're not too sure what to do, I always recommend connect with your tour manager. They have great ideas. They can give you, sort of tailor to your own needs on what you would like to do. But a lot of people go explore Plaka, which is basically one of their neighborhoods. It's like their historic district. There's a lot of things there, restaurants and shops and many things to do. And some people choose to go visit the archaeological museum, so that's a big highlight as well. So it's really up to you how you like to explore your time on your own. I chose to go shopping. I was like, okay, I got the history, now I want some shopping. So this is some of the things that I brought home. I can't wait to go back, because I feel like I only brought one home, and I was very particular about how I put it so it wouldn't break. But now I want to go back and have matching sets. All right, and then we end the tour, with this amazing farewell dinner, which is basically a celebration of hopefully a memorable trip for all of you. Okay, so I really hope you join us either in Greece or in French Riviera. So the French Riviera tour, it's another beautiful option. This is the way to, I guess, live the good life. We're going in November of next year, so there's still a little bit of time to plan. Maybe you'll get to go on both tours. But if you're considering this, just think about, the retreat for the elite. When people think of the French Riviera, that's what they think about, and the beaches, and of course the famous film festival. So when you think of Colette's tours, we have different options of tours. This one in particular is part of our Spotlight brand, and what that means is we stay in one hotel only. So for those of you that don't like to pack and unpack and move around, this is a great choice. You unpack only once. The average size of the group is about 37 people, and then we explore the different areas around it. But then basically you get to stay in one hotel. The weather will be beautiful. I mean, when it comes to the French Riviera, it's sunny and beautiful almost all year round. This tour in particular we don't take travelers there in the middle of the summer because it's too busy, it's too hot, it's too expensive. So that's why we take you there off season, because it's perfect touring time. Now the tour begins, I'm sold right there. Sign me up. So it begins on the stunning city of Nice. And of course, this is a coastal pearl, just beautiful Mediterranean area. All of these balmy beaches, really, really beautiful. And we will start also with a welcome dinner for everyone to sort of get to know each other. So flights arrive at different times of the day. So usually the first day we don't plan a whole lot, because of course, if there's any sort of delays or if you're jet lagged, we don't want you missing out on any experiences. So that's why we often do just a welcome dinner on the first day. Then the very next day, everybody's rested off, and then you basically get to enjoy a little bit of the city as a local. So in the morning, we'll get you to navigate the city on the city's tram. And then we basically are gonna teach you how, it works and the routes. So you can use it to your advantage when you have some free time. You already know how to get around. Now, then we partner with one of the local experts from that area, and we're gonna explore Nice, and you're gonna basically do some walking around and browsing. The city is quite famous for the flower market, so you're definitely gonna get to see that. And then we'll go into Old Town, and you're gonna get to sample some of the local delicacies. We take you on a tasting tour, so very exciting. Does anybody know what some of the local delicacies are for French Riviera? Octopus, yeah, there's a lot of things related to the sea, fish, cod, ratatouille, am I saying that right? Yeah, very popular in there. And then the other one I can't even pronounce. But it's basically a soup with some...
Bouillabaisse.
That's the one, yes. You got it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, it starts with a B, it's a soup, seafood. But and then it doesn't help, I don't know, most of you have probably noticed I have an accent. English is not even my first language, so I'm trying to do this. Portuguese is my first language, if you're wondering. I was born and raised in São Paulo, Brazil, but that's for another day. But I'm just planting the seed. If one day you want to go to South America, come talk to me. All right, so the rest of the day is basically yours to do a little bit of exploring on your own. This tour has really great pacing, so you're gonna see that there's lots of things included, but there's also a lot of free time as well. So you get to, explore, because this is an area where people do want to venture out. I guess it's similar for those of you that went to the Tuscany one. When you're in Florence, you need that time, right, to go shopping, get the leather, do your thing. So it's we make sure that we include that time for you on the tour. So we will be staying in this lively, seafront area. You're gonna get to do a little exploring of the promenade if you'd like. We stay right downtown, and then you basically visit one of Nice's world-class art galleries, maybe during your free time. But there's a lot to see. There's a lot of restaurants that have like the rooftop, so I certainly recommend checking one of those out. Or just going into one of the museum and art galleries, because there's a lot of influences from some of the famous artists that did paintings, Matisse and some others that I'm not going to get into, because the tour manager will tell you all about it. So the next day we will travel to Monaco, and you will get to do a city tour. And we'll basically introduce you to some of the famous areas in Monaco. The Cathedral of Monaco is included already in there for you. And we will take you also to view the changing of the guards at Prince's Palace. So that's also an inclusion as part of your tour. And then again, you have something that is of your choice where you would like to do. Either hop on the little train tour, or go on the Oceanographic Museum. Okay, you know what I mean. All right, so if you take the choice number one, you hop on the little train, we go to Monte Carlo, and then of course we're gonna take you to view the famous casino of Monte Carlo. This is an area that there's tons of casinos, very popular and luxurious resorts here. Or if you choose to do the museum, also another fabulous option. This was built right on the cliff of Monaco. Very world-renowned museum as well, because of the expertise that they have there, and more than 6,000 species are on display. It doesn't compare, of course, to Australia or Cairns or anything like that, but this is it's a great start, and it's quite beautiful. I heard Jessica is really excited about this part with the perfume. So the next day we will take you, this is like a world capital of perfume in this town called Grasse. So we will take you to basically almost like a workshop, and you're gonna get to learn all about the secrets of perfume making. This is a hands-on workshop. So it's very unique, very different, and you'll get to tour perfumery and just learn all about the formulations and the fragrances. And these have been being prepared for many years, since the 17th century. So lots to learn here, and just very unique. And then you get a little bit of free time just to do a little exploring of the town itself. This is a very charming little town, as you can see there in the picture. Lots of restaurants, lots of shops, and these winding roads. Very, very pretty. So you have a little bit of time before we return to Nice for the evening, because that's where our hotel is. Now the next day we journey to Cannes, and we will sail across the bay, and we'll take you to these islands of Saint Honorat, if I'm saying it wrong, and if I'm saying it right. And it basically means we're going to take you to this monastery to connect with the monks, and we're also going to take you wine tasting. So you're going to learn all about the local produced wine from that area in the island. So it's people just love that experience. Monks and wine, yeah. And then when we return to the city, of course, you will have again a little bit of time to explore independently. We are going during off-season, as I mentioned. So you're gonna notice that the town itself, it's more peaceful, it's not like the bustling crowds like, when the festival is happening. But you will get a chance to sort of walk around in the footsteps and pretend you're a celebrity. And see where the film festival is and the iconic red carpet. So make sure you get your pictures in there. And during your free time, remember to connect with your tour manager if you're not too sure what to do. But one of the neighborhoods that a lot of people like to go and explore, it's called Les Souquettes. And it's basically like a neighborhood that has a lot of restaurants, a lot of shops, and just a lot of lively things and to visit, a lot of cobblestone streets in the area. Or there's some famous farmers market as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you ask your tour manager. They can point you in the right direction. All right, then back to Nice, and we have another fabulous dinner. We will do this evening sort of like highlights of fresh ingredients from south of France. So that's what you're gonna get to explore this evening. Then the next day, we head to Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat, and this is another beautiful sort of coastal jewel, part of the French Riviera. And you're gonna get to see this beautiful villa that is quite famous, very iconic. Just the building itself, tends to sort of mesmerize people. We will take you to see the gardens, and you have that local expert just sharing a little bit more information about the area and the significance. Beautiful views of the Mediterranean Sea when we're here, and then we basically complete with a lunch that is served in their tea room. So it's overlooking the bay. It's very, very beautiful. And then we end the day with some time for you to relax and then just basically enjoy the French Riviera. If you're not so much into free time, or if you've had enough time to do exploring on your own, we will have an optional excursion that you can sign up and add on. So this one in particular will take you to the city of Menton. And this is one of the most beautiful corners of the county. So there's a lot of history. We're gonna be serving dinner when we go into this tour. There's a lot of influence of Italy in this little town because we're so close to Italy. So you get a little bit of taste of Italy and France all together. So for those of you that are interested, make sure you sign up. And then the next day, we venture to this historic area, which is St. Paul de Vence. And this is basically located right on the hill there. You can see this beautiful countryside of Provence. And this is what the little town looks like. It's, very medieval sort of village. Lots of traditional buildings, sort of hidden, walkways and incredible restaurants that you're gonna get to explore. And some specialty shops as well. Make sure you bring some extra space on your luggage for some souvenirs. And this place has actually, it's known for having inspired a lot of the famous painters. So as you can see, they're very, very beautiful area. And that's a little bit about French Riviera. We also end with a farewell dinner just to basically say goodbye to everyone and recollect all your best moments. So I hope you enjoy and join us on this tour. You will have the opportunity to extend your stay and make it a little bit longer. So if you want to do that, that's wonderful, and we'll take you to Paris. Now, a couple of final things that I want to touch on is we will be having a hometown pickup as part of the group. So I don't know if it's assigned. No,
Not for our
remove that one. Okay, so no hometown pickup. You're all going to be meeting at the airport, which is just as great, and then meeting your tour manager in destination. Okay, so I got to make sure that I take that off. If some of you want to personalize your experience, then make sure you connect with Andrea from Continental Travel. She's going to be the one taking the bookings for all of you. You can do your excursions with her. If you want to upgrade your flight to business class, she would be the one doing that and giving you the specific fare for that. If you want to do the Paris extension, so there's some options there for you. I want to touch on the travel insurance quickly. If you purchase the package through Colette, we have a fabulous travel insurance. I used to sell insurance, so I can really vouch for ours. It's canceled for any reason. So I always say, even if your cat is having a bad hair day, you can cancel, okay? It's up to 24 hours prior to departure. So literally cancel for any reason. We will give you your full money back like we did during COVID in the same way that you paid us. So, you can have that peace of mind if you book. And it also includes the medical portion of it. So it's basically one flat rate, regardless of your age. You could be 18 or 80, you pay the exact same rate. I think this one is $5.99 if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So the premiums are amazing. You don't have to fill out a medical questionnaire or anything like that. And you are fully covered, pre-existing conditions included, as long as you've been stable for 60 days. So it really is a good plan. For those of you that have traveled with Colette, if it's been within a certain time, you will get a discount. And if you haven't, that's okay. You go to Greece. When you go to French Riviera, then you get your discount. So make sure you got your passports in day. So Andrea will help you with that. And you don't need a visa to go to any of these countries. But starting next year, you will need to go on this specific website and just get like a little authorization. So again, Andrea will be helping you with that. She couldn't be here today, but if you would like to book, you can either go straight on the link and book it yourself, or you can call Andrea. She is with Continental Travel, which is right on Portage Avenue there. And then she would be able to help you make the booking. So this is just a little bit of information for Classical Greece. Once you're ready to commit, you put down your deposit. If you want the insurance is paid at the same time. Now, the nice thing is that, for example, for Greece, you have up until November 2nd, we are holding the seats guaranteed. After that time, it will be based on availability, so there may be a spot or not. we do have some people already booked.
Should be 2024, November 2nd, not 25.
Oh, yes, yes, 2024. Oh my God, thank you. 2024. Yeah, 2025, you'll be gone already. The nice thing is, let's say if you decide to book today and something happens and it's before November 2nd, we'll give you and you got the insurance, you get everything back, including the premium of the insurance. So literally everything. If you cancel after the November 2nd, 2024, you would get your deposit back, just not the insurance piece, okay? Final payments due January 1st. And these are, and again, May, yeah, that one's good. Yeah, I'm like, that one. Yeah, so French Riviera, you have a little bit more time, but again, by May 7th is when we have the seats being held, guaranteed. After that, then there may be a spot or not. It depends on availability, so you would have to check in with Andrea. All right, so I just have one final video that I want to share with you, and then we'll open up for some questions.
How many times have you told yourself, someday you'll travel to that special place? The place you've spoken about, dreamed about. It's so close, you can almost feel it. The warmth of the sun, the sound of music you've never heard before, the discovery of a new flavor. Today isn't like any other day. Today is the day where you set off for new horizons. Stop waiting for the perfect time and make this time perfect. This is your trip of a lifetime. Someday you'll travel to that special place. Your someday is here.
All right, so I hope your someday is here. I always say that it's much better to, go to a destination only once than to hear about it 1,000 times and never get to go. So, thank you. And I know you had one question. Thank you for waiting.
Your very first slide, could you just elaborate a bit about why only 80% of your tours go? Is it weather, or what's the problem with the other 20%?
Oh, right. My first slide said only 80% of the
Something about 80%. It's 8%.
Oh, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let me go back here.
But what's guaranteed?
So what that means is, here I think it is. That's where it came up. Yeah, 80%. So we basically have guaranteed departures, which means that those will go even if only 2 people book. Yeah, I know. It doesn't happen. But that's what it is. When you compare it to other companies out there in the market, we have the biggest amount of guaranteed departures. Now this tour, I can tell we already have enough people booked that it's a guaranteed departure, so you won't have to worry about it. Because there are, some times that if we don't have enough people, we may have to call and just move dates. But it doesn't happen too often. Any other questions? No?
Do you have the same tour guide for the whole?
So you have the same tour manager for the entire trip, and then we also bring in local guides that will be different based on where we go.
But there's somebody the whole time. Yeah.
There is somebody the whole time, yes.
And that's a call-in person?
Yeah.
And then just to add to that, with our chamber, we always travel with our groups. We don't just send you guys without having some connection back home here. So for Greece, I will be your chamber host, and for French Riviera, Jessica will be going in and acting as the chamber host.
So you said that the flights arrive at different times. The maximum of one of those tours was 44 people.
Yeah.
Are these people from all different places?
Yeah, so when I say different times, I mean your group will most likely, everybody will be flying together. But because there's 44 people, there may be some people coming from Australia, some people coming from United States. We have an office in Australia, so we have a lot of Australians that travel with Colette. And then we are an American company. We have our head office in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So we also have some people that come from there. And then, of course, Canadians.
But again, the Canadians, would they be from all different places in Canada or just Winnipeg?
Possibly all different places in Canada, yeah.
And for majority, they're organizing through us, so a lot of them are through Winnipeg or Manitoba. We've had somebody from Saskatchewan join us, but out of the 44 for Greece, we've secured 20 seats for our trip, so we may be joining another group of 24 from somebody else somewhere else. That being said, we also can have some waiting list, or we may be able to get some more additional passengers, but we limit our group to 20.
Okay. I have another question. It's about the insurance. If you already have good travel insurance in place, is there an option for just trip cancellation?
That is a great question. I believe there is. To be honest with you, the price doesn't change much.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes, I'm 99% sure that there is. Mhm.
Your Greek trip does not include Santorini Island.
Not that one, no. So what I would suggest, if you want to go see Santorini, is you can go on a tour and then just make sure you ask Andrea to do, something extra for you. Because like I mentioned, you can sort of personalize it. So you can do air deviations, still travel with the group, and then maybe stay a little bit longer, and then go visit the islands. Yeah.
And for those who traveled with us before, we never used a local travel person, a travel agency. You would call our office, Jessica and I would do our best. We would reach back out to our travel agent and get those answers for you. This year we actually are partnering with Continental Travel, which is down the street from us, and Andrea is our contact person. So handling with registrations and any of those unique questions, we're kind of eliminating us as a middleman. But to be honest, call Jessica and I, we love talking to people and we love finding the answers ourselves, because any questions you have helps us in doing our conversations as well, so.
And who knows, if there is like 20 of you wanting to do Santorini or something like that, I'm sure we could look into doing a little something.
I'm gonna jump in here then, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
It's just a question. Yeah.
So, the Greece trip is, well, both trips are categorized as a level 3 in terms of physical activity.
Yeah.
So how aggressive are you really, like, what exactly are you gonna be anticipating?
Start getting your steps in now.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But recognizing most of us are seniors, right? Like.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And our age demographic is 65 plus for all of our